I don't know. What's really weird though is like why it does that. Like if you use one of those platforms it does a weird loop. I don't get that. Actually, this station statistics is reasonably useful. $25 on 25.
Huh?
Hey.
We're trying to get home. You've done your good deed for the year, Zinham. So you've helped somebody put the spare wheel on the car. And that's you done for the year. Okay. So once a year you help somebody. That's food trucks. Passenger shuttle is here. It's that one. Let's see if that helps. You know what? I cannot believe how quickly Medan grew. When you say helped, you mean you did it and she watched. I don't think I know. I'm trying to think. There are not many women. I've met some, but not a lot that I know that would know how to change the wheel on their car. In fact, I would argue that most of the women I know don't know where the locking wheel nut is.
Welcome back, Nata.
Sammy Mac, thank you very much. Smart enough to know there's a dude. That's true. It's like the old AA advert, isn't it? It's like, I don't know, but I know a man who does. You don't need to know how to do something. You just need to know a bloke that can do it. The locking wheel nut is never with the spare wheel. Locking wheel nut is always like in a bag or a little mini toolbox or something in the boot of the car. Almost always. Blimey. That stone thing works really well. You have a jacked up pickup and the wheel jack that came with the truck isn't big enough, so I had to buy one. Wow. If the manufacturer gave you the jack for the truck that wasn't even big enough, that's crazy. Little John, most people, I think, never mind not know how to change the wheels. They don't even put water in the car. Like, they just no clue. There are plenty of people that, if they go to use the screen wash on the car and there's no water coming out, they'll take it to the garage and say, yeah, my water squirty thing's broken. The guy's like, I'll fix that for you. Jug of water. Sample these. What are they saying in the reviews? Right. I'm just going to look. Sample these. Transport Fever 2. All reviews, mostly positive. 2,700 mostly positive reviews. Recommended, 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 recommended. Not recommended. There we go. 32 hours on record. First of all, it's not a bad game, and if you haven't played TF1, you'll most likely enjoy it, he says. To give you a short overview, trains look really nice, blah, blah, blah. Right, negatives. Cities are a lot smaller, and the city size is limited by the initial city size. Example, in 1960, I usually had 3,000 people per city in TF1. The limit for cities in TF1 was 1 to 2,000, depending on the initial size. Cities only demand 2 products. They are fixed, yes, but there's a mod that can unlock that. Hard mode is always way too easy compared to TF1. Easy mode, normal mode seems to be hard for new players. Some vehicles are still useless and some are straight downgrades. No chain signals. Wait, no chain signals? They didn't have that in TF1 either. Can't replace add vehicles on a train. You have to rebuy, upgrade the whole thing. No, that's not true. You bring it into the depot and do that. Some physics as TF1. I don't understand the guy's negative review. I understand that he's got some things that he'd like, but that's not a reason to give it a negative review, I don't feel. Another user, 18 hours on record. What a disappointment. After a couple of hours, it feels like I'm playing an update of TF1. Except for the new modular stations, new features are totally missing in the game. Worse, they remove a lot of possibilities. 2 resources per city instead of them everywhere is the worst. Allow players to choose how many resources they need in each city. That would allow any type of players for having fun. Yeah, okay, so I mean, this guy is basically saying TF2's not worth a full price upgrade on TF1, and it's actually a bit restrictive. I would agree with him on that one. I still don't think that's worth a negative review. I mean, generally speaking, there are mods that can fix a few of these problems. Jeez, that is Bit of congestion going on there. Did they reply to your depot question? No, but I know how to do it. It's fiddly, but it's possible. To give you an example, let's say I want to clone this train. But this train, as you can see, is on the faster track, the lower track. So if I clone this train and the game spawned it out of that depot, there'd be a problem because it can't get to this track. That depot only links to the upper track. What I want is it for it to come out of this depot. So what you do is you click on the train, manage vehicle, and when you go to clone it, before you actually hit the clone button, you need to look at what that depot's called, and that's called Shanghai Train Depot 2. Without clicking anything else, scroll down here to Shanghai, whatever it's called, Depot 2. That one. Tick that, don't choose anything else, and then when you hit clone, it will come out of here. It works, but it's a bit... very poor. 123 oil line around. Okay. 60 million? Holy moly. Yikes. The UI is awful. I wouldn't say it's awful, but I would say in places it's very unintuitive and it even hides some features. The worst part about it though is that there is no kind of... If you play the tutorial or the campaign, it kind of teaches you how to look around with the camera and delete things and all that kind of stuff and rotate objects, but it doesn't teach you like anything around the finer details of the game. Like, click on Line Manager. I can filter by these different categories. Click on the eye there, and it'll only show me lines that are in view. Yeah? Zoom right in. If I've got that on, it'll only show me stuff that is visible on the screen. Very, very useful feature. Never teaches you about. One day, while you're playing the game, you'll either discover it by accident by going, what does that do? Or somebody on the stream will go, hey, you can click that. A lot of problems can be solved if the game actually has a tutorial and kind of teaches you some stuff. Like, all these screens down here. It kind of points them out. It kind of goes, oh yeah, there's stuff down there, you should probably take a look at it. But it doesn't really teach you what to do. You've got to figure it all out. Baz, I'll send you a file. The folder contains need to go into Steam, user data, your ID number, local staging area. As soon as the folder's in there, restart the game, and in the menu option, publish mod will appear. Click on that and voila. Cool, thanks, Baz. Icy SnowRunner. 37 months. There's a car talk going on. I just got a new 2020 Outback Limited XT in titanium metallic. Subaru makes awesome cars. I've never owned a Subaru. I've owned a lot of cars, manufacturers' cars, but I've not owned a Subaru. My brother had one. He had an Impreza. I think he had it for about 18 months, realised how expensive it was costing to run and just got rid of it. Yeah, that's probably because I switched it round. Like, when I built this airport, this was the arrivals, and then I moved this, and it didn't move the texture. Thanks, Baz. I don't know Benjamin personally. I've never had a car past 100k. Is this the steel train coming down? One slight issue I have, like with Transport Tycoon, I could click on this vehicle, have a window for it, move it over here. Click on this other vehicle, have a window for it, move over here. It feels like it allows you to do that unless you don't move the window. If you move the window, it lets you do it. And if you don't move the window, it doesn't. So you don't even know that feature exists unless you come across it by accident. How weird is that? You would like an auto pin function. I don't know. Just that in OpenTTD, if you clicked on vehicles, it would just spawn like another window just below that one. Like a proper multi-window interface, just kind of spawns them on top of each other. It doesn't do that. It kind of goes default one window. See? Unless you move it slightly. And then it spawns another one. The devs, like, their brains just work in a different way to everybody else, I think. The steel train works. Yep. Actually making a bit of money. Oh my god. I think these guys are going to have to say goodbye to their buildings because we need a bigger tram station. See, every time I click bulldoze now, I think Baz has sent a delivery. Did you see the last message about the broken lines?
Oh,
I'm not sure I did. Now, why is that one upgradable? Okay, configure. Oh, you're going to be a pain about this, aren't you? You scumbag game. There we go. Oh, it's doing the loopy thing again. Look at them all.
Happy anniversary.
Walking around to the other stop. Has Mrs. Squirrel gone Christmas spending today? No, Zenom. What the heck? There was like a massive explosion right next to me. No, she needs to go Tesco and get the Christmas food in, but she's not going today because it's just complete and utter chaos. I'd rather be at home than out there. Valtiel, Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for 4 years, Valtiel. The Lazy Gamer, thank you for all your hard work this year. Hope you and your family have a great Christmas. Thank you for your support, sir. Icy Snowrunner, I think I read that one. Sammy Mac, 8 months. I missed that one. Hey, there's always room for more burger joints. No, they're not a fat man. Pringle or Tom is a scroll to do the same. Wait, no depot found. That's interesting. Apparently, I don't have a tram depot. You southwest. Well, why would it not make them? I think it's because that's not electrified road. Maybe. Possibly why. How was your flight into Stansted Langeveld? One of the cool features is when you get inside the vehicles, all the other vehicles on the road show inside out. So if I'm in this tram, when we go past another tram, it shows it inside out, look. It just looks so weird. I have no idea why it does that. Look, even the cars are inside out. Into Stansted was fine, cloud base about 1,000. I've flown to Nice twice, IRL. It's like, it's a bit of a boring approach in many ways, because a lot of it's just over the water. Until the last half a mile. I still like Geneva. I love flying to Geneva. No, as in custard, as in just getting on an EasyJet or something. Was Nice nice? It is and it isn't. Like, Nice is basically a very, very long, expensive kind of boulevard. Like a strip along the front. A lot of rich people, a lot of casinos, a lot of fast cars. And some very expensive taxis from the airport. Okay. Oh, nice biscuits are fantastic. Are you serious, Baz? Baz even did a JPEG for me. What do we need to do with that? Steam user data. Oh, blimey. Hang on. Steam user data. When you say Steam, what do you mean? You mean the documents? Where my Steam's installed? Where my app data is? Like, what does that mean? Steam apps? No. Steam's main folder. Maybe in games then. Games. Let's have a look. Steam games? No. It's not that folder. Trouble is, I have my Steam set up in a weird way. Is it in program files, Baz? Hang on. Program files, Steam, maybe. User data, probably that one. 1066. Staging area, paste. Right, I think I've put it in the right place, Baz. Let's try it. Thank you, American Trucking Fan. Right, relaunching. Don't see a published mod, Baz. Did I unpack it? No. You said, I will send you a file. The folder it contains needs to go into blah, 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 blah. You didn't say unpack the RAR file. Let's try again. Yeah, well, it's obvious now, Baz, but what you said is ambiguous. Publish mod. Here we go. Snug Squeal Bulldozer. Changes bulldoze sounds to squeals. Change note. First version. Thanks, Baz. Snug Squeal Bulldozer. This item will only be visible to you, admins, and anyone marked as a creator. Why? Why is it only visible to me, admins, and anyone who's a creator? How do I make it public? You have to mark it as public. How do I do that? Change visibility. Public. There we go. Right. It's now in my workshop. I think that is a link to it. Let's have a look. There you go. You can now subscribe and get squeals every time you bulldoze. Have you actually tried it, Yoshi? Have you actually tried it in the game yet to see if it works? Hey, I could subscribe to it myself. That way I wouldn't have to mod my original files anymore. I need to message Snugs now and let him know. So if you want to know what that sounds like, instead of that horrendous bulldozing noise that's way too loud and annoying, you now get this. Pops, can you clip that and send it to Snugs? So we're back to the old too many goods piling up at the airport. And if I add more planes, I lose loads of money. I don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
So I finished watching TF1 gameplay streams of yours on SquirrelPlus channel. Cough. Sub to SquirrelPlus. Cough. But so far, 8 hours in the game, 21 cities with trams, 27 million in the bank, and 30 million in earnings bar. Nice. You getting there, bro? Still overcrowded, that. That one needs replacing. Yeah, I'm going to chuck like one extra plane in and see if that helps. Can you make a silent WAV for the airport? I'm not sure what you mean. Right, I'll tell you what I wanted to do. We're flying all this steel in to this thing. But I don't think it's getting anywhere near enough steel, as you can see. But there is a local steel factory. We just need to hook it up. Or there was, I seem to remember. There it is. So we need to get iron ore and coal into this thing, and then steel. Can bring into here and supplement what's coming in from the planes. And hopefully... we don't. I was hoping we had a spare track, but we don't. Although I think I can still make it work if we move the cargo station. I wish, Tuscan. I honestly wish. I don't know if there is, but I wish there was. You can build the track outside. What I'm thinking of doing is adding the track here and then a platform and then that thing, so that will go there. I'm hoping that'll fit. So if we delete that. And then add... Cool.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
They all stay where they were, and we've got ourselves an extra track. Revons, thank you for 37. Happy holidays and a happy new year to you and your loved ones. Likewise, Revons. So, steel delivery is going to come into that track, which is going to come from that station. So it probably needs to join onto that, and then it could go through this, but I'm tempted not to. I think we'll just add a couple more tracks on the outside. Who else is working over Christmas? Me. You want to test the mod? I've got to enable it, Baz. Yeah, that's a good... Somebody definitely needs to make sure it actually works, Baz. Let's think about this. So I've got 1 coal, 1 iron ore, 1 coal. Right, so dedicated shipments, because we need 2 into every 1. 2 coal, 2 ore makes 1 steel. He made that noise in 7 Days to Die, Tuscan. Some like zombies basically came up behind him, I think, and scared him, and he went whee like this. That is all kinds of messed up. Right, let's see. Cargo station. You're generally in tears right now, Yoshi. What, you just like the squealing?
Welcome back, Nutter.
Whoa, tunnel. Blimey.
Nutter.
A lot more elevation change than I thought. There we go. That's the steel delivery. What's the bullet train like? We need to work out the best place to have that bullet train. I want to try and find two cities that are very populous, like at least 1,000 or so, and then over a great distance and see what happens. It works, Baz. Actually an iron ore here as well. Iron ore, coal. Iron ore, coal. Thing is, you get paid for distance in this game, so I'm tempted to bring... that one in. And that one. Because that's a reasonable distance to travel. And then maybe, like, that coal and that coal. See that, or that iron ore, that iron ore and that coal. And that iron ore, that coal. It's a bit close, that one, though, really. So far, the only good bullet train you've seen is in the speed line in the American set. It can only go 149 miles per hour, but has a 12k horsepower. So it gets to its top speed quite quickly. Snuggles! Have you been summoned, mate? Have you been summoned? I suspect somebody summoned you. Alright, so I guess I've got to show you Snugs, haven't we? Look. Get some track. And so, instead of the default sound for bulldozing, which is very loud and obnoxious, and sounds like you're just basically blowing up a building, we now have this. Which I'm sure you recognize, Snugs. And if you click it very quickly, we get this. I'm sure you recognize that sound, Snugs. It all started off with me complaining about the bulldozer sound being horrendous. And then I think it was Baz who suggested the squeal. And then next thing, Baz made the mod and I published it. So now, you are now officially published on Steam, Mr. Snugs. There you go. "55 months. I approve of the demolished sound. Nice touch." Well, you have Baz to thank, not me. "Looking good, and so do you." Lol. Merry Christmas, everyone. And you, Snugs. Right, let's get the old terminus there. And we'll just have 2 platforms, actually. High speed. The original noise is by Snugs. That is actually Snugs. That sound that you hear, that one, that's actually Snugs squealing because I think a zombie scared him in 7 Days to Die. And you can now subscribe to it and put it in your game. You're hunting for the original video. Iron ore, coal, that'll get us going. We'll start with that and get that up and running first, I think. Let's use that one for the iron ore. The end of the stream, Paul needs to check how many subs the mod already has. Baz, if it hits triple figures, I'll be amazed. Iron ore and coal, steel. Do you see the update on Thursday about the ability to set loading ratios for cargoes? Yeah, we've not really played. I saw it, but we've not played it. Played with that setting. I have seen it's possible. I reckon they should allow you to add a depot, like as a configurable item on the platform, so you can just like integrate it in. Nice and tidy. 15 subs so far. There you go. Okay. I think that's all the track and buildings. Just need to get all the signals on there. Do you think nap time should be brought into the workplace? I have known companies that do power naps. You're allowed to go for a power nap. And they even have places where you can go and do it. And you can do like a 15, 20-minute power nap. You could spend, on your lunch hour, you could do half an hour food, half an hour nap. The problem is that some people, they already take the mick at work anyway, but if you give them an excuse to take more time off and do nothing, they'll take it. So you've always got to balance that, right? That's the problem a manager faces, is making sure that the work-life balance is kept so that they're actually doing work as well as just taking all that nap time. If you've ever been a manager, and trust me, until you've been a manager, you can't really comment on this, but if you've ever been a manager, you'll know what it's like. You'll understand that there are people that you can rely on, people that take the mick, people try to get away with things, people who lie. It's unbelievable. There are people that even when you present them with solid, hard evidence, still deny it. You know? That's just the way it is. And quite often the phrase, "this is why we can't have nice things," applies. Okay, I think we're up and running there. Yeah, I was a manager, Matty. I've managed teams, I know what it's like, that's what I'm saying. Whatever kind of expectations you go into management with, I guarantee you that people will change your perspective. Because when you're dealing with people, when you're managing people, things just, I don't know. It's weird. When you go from being in a team to being in charge of a team, things change. Right, let's get the coal and iron ore trains going. That is Kraz. That's dark grey. The perception of you as a manager versus a regular employee is all changes. Yeah, your whole team looks at you differently. Kraz steel trains. Ah. No, we're not going there. We're actually going to here, so that's fine. Thought it screwed up then. That's actually a long way. We need to have a fast cargo train for that steel delivery. You hate the UK word team. It implies that you are playing a sport or something. It trivializes work. Hey? A team is just a group of people with a shared objective. That's what a team is. It doesn't mean you're playing a sport at all. I never took it that way. Right, this coal train here is a very short run. We could probably get away with a diesel, but we just need something cheap here. These good old DF5s are very hard to beat with the running costs. 729. Top speed of 80. And everything electric is in the millions. Right, let's try shuttling just 5. Why then? I don't see how that is an argument, really. Are you saying, Whiteland, that if I've got lots of money in the game, I should run cost-inefficient lines? Or should I continue to choose the right train for the line? I don't see how... Personally speaking, I don't see how your mindset should change. You've got more money, right? Great. I've got the money because I've made good choices. Should I start making bad choices because I have lots of money now? I don't quite get that. What is the whole tractive effort thing? So tractive effort is pulling power, Ben, right? So tractive effort means 2 things. 1, it can pull more stuff because it has more pulling power. And 2, it can reach its top speed quicker because it has more pulling power. That needs to be like a dark grey. There we go. Out of here, we want to do the ore train. Now, the ore train has twice as far to go, so I don't think the diesel's going to work too well. We can have 2 of them running that journey. But that's 1.5 million, or we can have one fast electric, which will probably do the same job. So for this one, we go electric. Normally, the more money people have, the closer they watch it. Or they just hire lots of people to watch it for them. No, because if you have one train serving both, when it stops, it has to go through the whole loading time. So the train never gets up to speed. If I send a train from here to here, it won't even reach top speed probably. But at least it'll have a good run. If I'd send the train and make it stop for coal, it will stop, load up, and then it'll have to accelerate again. The whole thing will be inefficient. Diesel is more cost effective than electric. It is. Absolutely is. 700 grand a year maintenance versus at least 3 million. And that's just for the loco. See, the difference in these trains is in running cost terms about 200 grand a year, which in the grand scheme of things is not even 10%. But the difference between them really is this. The tractive effort. Like this one has a top speed of 160, this has 170. But because of the tractive effort, this can get to its top speed quicker. And it can haul a lot more. So this is a cargo one. And this you could use for a slightly higher top speed. But I would probably take that one over that one any day. The Q guy, I need to record it, mate. You mean the train will have to deliver coal to steel? The train will have to deliver coal to steel comp the go for ore. No, I can't decipher that. In fact, we could probably demonstrate this, couldn't we? If we go with this China Railways, if we add that and then add some gondola cars, like 6 cars on the back of it, it says it will get to 160 k's in 83 seconds on a flat surface. So it will take 2 kilometers to get up to 160 on a flat surface. Never mind a hill, on a flat surface. So 2 kilometers, 2.6 kilometers, 4 kilometers to reach top speed of 160. If we take the Russian CH-54, instead of taking 2 kilometers to get to top speed, it will take 1.6. So the last train was 2 and then 3.5 or something, then 4, something like that. I can't remember now. That locomotive gets to its top speed way quicker than the other locomotive for the same consist because of its tractive effort. In a nutshell, it's pulling power. Neil, thank you for 5 months there. Merry 3 days till Christmas. Pit TC, thank you for 39. So the question is, how many of these do we need? 6? Yeah, 2 kilometers, given 8 gondolas. And that's why you have to be careful when you're making decisions about what locomotive to buy and what consist to put on the back. $40-ton tarpaulin truck. Which is that one. Now this one, the steel run. So the steel run has got to go from here all the way down to here, which is a long way. So we need a fairly high-speed train for this, but it has to pull a lot of cargo. So we want good speed and good tractive effort. Please don't spoil, but what version of Red Dead 2 should I get on this Steam on sale? I just got the basic one, and I had the full game. If you're going to play online, then maybe you want to consider spending a bit more cash. Baz, it's the best colour, mate. So let's see, 160Ks with a 300 tractive effort. There's nothing that really beats that right now. In terms of cargo, that's the best one. That has a much lower top speed. As does that. That's the best one we can do. And then we want flat car with side stakes to take steel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. We'll do the full 200 meters, so we get some of that. It's a very good loco on the Asian map. Do you consider line frequency, number of events it takes to decide the number of cars you buy? You have to keep your eye on it, really. It's a tricky one. Like, when you're trying to establish the line, you don't need as many cars on the back. But to change it later means bringing it back in the depot and reconfiguring it. So you kind of want to put... You kind of want to... When you're buying it, you kind of want to look at how long it's going to take to get up to speed. Using that, you know, hover over that. And kind of use that to gauge how big to make it. Like, when it just starts out, this is not going to be moving very much stuff. Right? But I know it's not going to take that long before it gets up to full production. Like, this is already nearly there, and it's not been running that long. How many cars did I put on the back? On that one, 5. Why? Because I'm running a cheap diesel. If I put 6 on the back, it's going to take forever to get up to speed. Is it enough? Well, what you really need to do is look at the train and say, by the time it's got there and back, how much cargo was produced? At the moment, it looks like about maybe 80 or 90. How much can it carry? It can carry 100. That is already at maximum output now, which means that consist of 100 is enough. If we had 6 on the back of that, it would actually be slowing the train down unnecessarily. You could even argue, because it's only got 80 on it, you could even argue you could probably drop 1 car off the back. Or what you can do is tell it to wait a little bit longer. So that's going to leave with 86. We could instead reconfigure the line and say, well, you know, when you get to here, wait until full. So don't actually set out, like, waiting there another 30 seconds is no biggie. You may as well go on full. But you've just got to look at it and then tune it. normally. Take a good guess and then shoot it. This one, on the other hand, this one has much further to go. So, at the moment, we're not moving much of it, but it's only just got going. It's already fully loaded. So the question now is, when this train gets to here, how much is on the platform? And you can use that to estimate whether you need a longer train or more trains. Given that distance, not sure. Why was that manage line button from the vehicle panel? Is that a mod? Wait, what was that manage line button from the vehicle panel? You click on manage vehicle to manage the vehicle. If you click on the line itself, it will take you to the line, and then you click on manage line. I'll be honest with you, the UI, like, I should be able to click on a vehicle and choose manage vehicle, manage line. The fact that I have to indirectly go from there to there is ridiculous. You never thought to click there. Dude, this game is like that all over the place. There are so many places where that, you know, where you wouldn't realize it's a clickable thing. That is, you know, this filter here. These filters here, like, they just, I don't know, they don't look clickable. It's so not intuitive. I would argue that hovering over that is not intuitive. Yeah. If I hover over this, it says, oh, the total length of the train is 23 meters. If I hover over that, top speed. If I hover over that, I get loads of information that is really, really useful. It just makes no sense. Okay, so 70, it looks like this is going to be enough. It's at full output, and that can carry 100, and this is not even on 100, so I think that's fine. So I would suggest that they were reasonable guesses. Whether it's making money or not, it's a different story. I'll tell you, do you want me to tell you why the interface is that bad? Because that's what happens if you let developers design UIs. I know it sounds ridiculous, but developers don't think like other people. What they think is obvious is not always obvious. You kind of need a UI person in there. I don't know if they had one or not, but it kind of, to me, on surface value, looks like that UI was designed by developers. Because designing a UI is actually surprisingly difficult to do well. Yeah. Right, now this thing, where's the train? I think that's him there. We also need to make sure that this doesn't run out, and at the moment I think it might run out. Because that single iron ore is too far away to keep this supplied. Am I putting my hand up for the job, Ben? No. The thing about designing UI is, like, because I've done it. I've done a lot of it, and I would not say that I'm an expert at it. I'm saying I'm decent at it, but sometimes I'll see a UI and I'll be like, dude, that is so good. Like, I would not have thought of doing it that way. Just laying it out that way is so elegant. When I see an elegant, well-done UI, I know that, but that doesn't mean to say I can come up with it. What's the difference between a UI and an AI? Well, the UI is the user interface. It's the way that you communicate with the computer. An AI is basically a computer trying to mimic or show signs of intelligence. Yeah, I'm going to bring the other ore in now. I'm just making the point that you know, if we look at this, at the moment, we're not throttled on coal, we're throttled on iron ore. Because there's no way that by the time that train gets to there, this will be out of iron ore probably. So we could bring that iron ore in here, but I don't want to do that. It's too close. It's not worth running a train. We could run trucks to that. That's a perfectly viable solution. Is to just put a station here, and then just put a road and just truck iron ore into the back of that. That would work fine. Or we could grab the iron ore from this train here. And I think we'll do that because trains make money. Trucks make money too, but they don't make anything like as much as a train. Yeah, there's birds whiteland in formation. Which game is the best UI? I don't know. I'm trying to think, actually. Some of the battlefields have been good over the years, but some of them are rubbish now. It's very true, Toasty Potato, and a lot of people, for that reason, don't realise how hard it is to design a UI. They think anybody can do it, and it's just not the case. I've never really seen the UI in Stellaris, so I can't comment on that. Ain't that interesting? Why is that actually a collision? That's really weird. Stops being a collision at this point. Am I doing things a dumb way here? Raw resources to processing via trains, product of close by town via truck, or of train far away. There's no right way of doing this, heartwarming folks. It is perfectly valid for me to truck that ore into here. I'll make money, not a problem at all. But if I've got one far away, I would rather train it in because I can make more money. If I didn't have this ore here, I would use that one. There's no doubt about it. It really depends how your resources are laid out. There is no right or wrong way. There's a whole bunch of ways of doing it wrong, but there's equally a bunch of ways of doing it right. I know that I'll make a profit on this line, so that's all that really matters. I can supply that factory and make a profit. One thing that bugs you, why do you never buy single track stations for things like mines, where you never really need a second track? I tell you why, Baz. I don't like the look of the single track, single platform. So I'd rather add an extra track now on the basis that I may use it later, probably won't, but I like the balanced look of that. I know what you're saying, Baz, but I just, you know, I just don't like that. What are the new track types? They're actually a mod. Normally you have these. This is actually a mod. I actually created, on Steam, I created a, what do they call it? Not a playlist. It's like a playlist. It's a collection, like a mod collection, and I've put all my mods in it, but I can't work out I can't work out how to get to my collection so I can give you a link to it. I can't find in the Steam UI, and Steam's UI is terrible. I can't find in the Steam UI, where are my collections? Does anybody know? Yeah, that is true. I do have enough money to not care about whether I buy single or double. It's Baz that cares. I mean, it's the same. You could argue the same way, Baz. I'm double tracking stuff here. Like, why did I double track that? It just doesn't need it. There's no way I'm ever going to run more than one train on that line. So why double track it? I just like double tracking it. You need to publish it, Wyland. Yeah, but how do I get back to it? Go to Workshop, click the drop down on your files. There's a tab for your collections. Hang on. Let's see if I can find this. Go to the Workshop. Okay, I'm in the Workshop. Click the drop down for your files. I haven't got any files. I haven't got any files. It's just a collection. Profile, content, collections, right. Profile, let's see. Profile, content, collections.
Welcome back, Nutter. Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Right, I'm looking at my profile now. Okay, I think I found it. Jeez, that was not easy. Right, how do I make this public? I don't know if this is public or not. Let me click on share. There you go. It's going to be a link to it now. If I post this link, you tell me if you can see this. Publish. There we go. Your collection is not yet published. Published, right. It should be published now. You can probably see it. Can you see it now? Try it again. It works. Right, there you go. So that's got my mods in it as I'm using right now. So when somebody said, what's those new track collections? These, that's them. It lacks a squirrel mod. Well, we just made the squirrel mod, Baz. Hang on, I need to find the squirrel mod again. One sec. View my profile. Workshop items. Squeal. 1 second. Add to collection. Click OK. Right, if you refresh that, it should now be back. It should now be in that collection. Yes, it is. Can confirm. Done. Right, so that's my collection of mods. Actually, the mods need to keep that link, because when people ask what mods am I using, you can now just link that